Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to make a rope halter and I'm going to show you how you do it. So have a thread of choice, every color you like, it can be used. And you need a scissor and you need a needle to pull the threads through the knots. Really handy, you need to have this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a grade length. I do 1/2 meter to 1 meter of threads. I really like to have a lot of over just to be safe. And then I'm going to fold the thread in half through the middle and then I'm going to search for the middle so that we have equal of threads on both sides really. It needs to be equal because if you don't, then maybe one of the threads will not be long enough for your project, so search for the middle. I have found the middle right now, and for the middle you need a knot right here. Just the first knot for the noseband of your rope halter. It needs to be a simple knot, just one knot, and really loose, not really tight. You need to pull it out later on to wrap the threads through again. So it doesn't need to be that tight, it doesn't need to be that perfect, just a knot like so. Just a simple one like I'm showing here. And I'm going to test it on the horse if it is alright, and then I'm going to search for the other side of the horse's nose just to make sure on how big it needs to be of the gap between the two knots, and I will show you in a second. Here is the knot on the other side, and then if I turn the horse around there will be another knot on the other side of the nose. So here you can see it is a knot around the nose, and then I need to measure how far it needs to be apart from each other so that it is equal on both sides. So here I'm going to test it and I need to make a knot right there. So that is my length that I need a knot. So right there I'm pointing at, there I need to make another knot. So here I made another knot. It is a little bit too wide, but I will fix this later on. This is the other knot and I will show you how it looks on the horse. So when you put it on, now it's a little bit too large, so I need to fix it. And I'm going to fix it right now. I'm going to loosen up the knot again and I'm going to pull it a little bit more to the other knot so that it's a little bit smaller, because now it was way too big and it doesn't need to be that big. So now I'm going to test it again and pull it again to make it tighter, to make it shorter, the gap between those two knots, so that it fits very nicely. So here I have finished the knots and I'm going to test it on the horse if it is right. By the looks of it, it is completely okay. I'm going to show you in a second what I mean. But here it is, knots on both sides. A knot right there and a knot right there. Both just between the nose of the horse, just right below it. You need to do the knots and it will look something like this, equal on both sides. Then I'm going to make another type of knot, but I need to measure how big the nose is of the horse so that it can still be on. So here I'm measuring and this is about right what I need. And right now I need to make on that part on that side another knot with a little loop for the lead rope attachment. So now that I've done making the loop, you see that it's coming together now with a noseband type. So now you have done that, and I'm showing you here what I've done. I made a loop with 2 of those knots, and now right here I'm going to make another knot. So now that is done, it looks something like this right there. And now we need to do something else. You're going to set the 2 threads apart from each other now. And right on the other side with the single thread, you're going to make a loop for the closing of the lead rope. So here you see another loop for the closing, and this loop thread, the thread that is on the side of the loop, needs to be attached to the knot. And I'm going to do that with a needle to pull it through the hole of the knot. And once you pull that through, you are going to have something like this. You need to close up the hole again of the knot. And just by pulling a bit, it is closing. And now I'm going to test it if it is alright. And hopefully it will look something like it's keeping it really interesting here. I'm fighting with the threads at the moment, but it will look something like this. If you pull the one where the loop is on through one of the knots, you will get this throat kind of piece, and that's really good, because if you pull it through the knot, you need to go through the other knot, and then you will be on the other side. So what I'm showing here it is not through the hole from the knot, so it needs to be done. And I'm going to do that again with the needle through the second knot, like this. This one was a little bit harder to do so. So now you've done that, you're going to close that hole by just pulling a little bit to the direction you want it to go, because obviously the knots are going to shift a little bit, so you need to pull it back to the original state. And now you have the 2 sides, the 2 threads to the same side again, and now you are going to make the last knot, and that is another throat knot, kind of side knot thing. So yeah, now you have done that. This is the knot right here that you just made, and now you can pull the threads through the loop and close it off. This is how your rope halter is going to look.